Hey guys, and welcome back to Castle Crush, and today I really wanted to talk about some of the recent balance changes. When you see this video, it probably will have already been like part of a week since they happened, but anyways, there were some rebalancing changes that occurred, and they seem important enough that I figured I should actually make a video about them and go through some of these because they are fairly interesting. And some of them directly affect like decks I've been using. So I decided to put together a deck that uses some of the cards that got buffed in particular and look at why they are potentially better now. So one of the cards that got changed here is the Boneyard. It went from 4 mana to 5 mana, and that changes drastically one of the rushing decks. I don't know if I have it here that I had been using. This one right here? I don't know. No, I think it's this one right here that I had been using. Maybe this is the one I won my only championship with, the Dark Angel Championship, and I used the Boneyard in there, and this does affect this deck because part of the deal with rushing is that you want to keep it low mana, but also like the most effective low mana, cards. I mean, Boneyard I think still fits well with rushing just because it's a card that, allows you to get better positioning very quickly in all 3 lanes, potentially sometimes. So I think that still works really well with a rushing deck, but the mana cost does hurt it, and I think does maybe open up some other options. So before we get into this too much, let's go ahead and open up these chests here that I was saving and see if we get anything cool. Okay. Of course, I always think to myself, if I did pull a legendary card here, would I really leave it in the video, or would I make it its own video just so it would get more attention? I don't know. It's a tricky decision. We didn't even get an epic card yet. No epics, all commons and rares, but you never know. I've opened a legendary from a free chest before, so you just have to keep trying. So anyways, back to the rebalancing changes. The Boneyard one was pretty significant for me personally. Let's see which other ones. Jester got nerfed. We'll have to see how that one plays out. I haven't played enough matches to know. Maybe that affects its ability to take out a skeleton swarm. I don't know. Because that was a pretty big deal before, was that it can counter the skeleton swarm and take it out in 2 hits. The dwarf health increased by 18%. I don't know why exactly they chose 18%, but we'll have to see. Maybe it affects certain counters in the meta. So archers from 2 to 1, that's an important change because archers just really... I tried to use them before, but they just didn't ever feel like they were really worth it for like anything. So maybe if you saw I caught a glimpse, I'd put them in the deck we're about to use, as well as the dwarf. The angel got nerfed a little bit. Again, I don't know how significant 2% is. It's hard to really say right off the top of my head, 2% will do this and this. I don't know. The golem gets its health increased by a lot. The golem already had a lot of health, so that's interesting. The dark angel health increased by 9%. That's interesting, because I already thought the dark angel was a little bit better. Well, I don't know. I think they'd done something to it to buff it once after nerfing it originally, maybe. And the Reaper gets nerfed. Okay. I think that's fair for the Reaper because it did have some really powerful strategies. I think that was probably a good change. Most of these other ones, it's hard to tell. I think the Dwarf was probably a good change because the Dwarf and the Archers were just not getting used. So the awesome thing here about the Archers is that they can be played so quickly in a rushing deck, and I can play the Dwarf in front of them. And then we're just going to wait because if I play 2 Archers, they may take them out with arrows. So I can make them have to kind of like make a decision. Are they going to use the arrows? They're not going to use the arrows. Yeah, see, there they use the arrows. Now I can play my other archers and kind of get a better bang for my buck there. That's unfortunate. Come on. Yes, they got back in. And We're going to wait in whichever lane they play in. I'll just swap to the other lane and then apply rage. Well, okay, that's not what I anticipated them doing. So instead we will do this and then swap over here. Oh, that was a pretty good move, I think, because we can rage and then we should be able to take it out. Oh, yes, yes, yes. There was a win with this. And I felt like the dwarf is much more useful in a rushing deck as well as the archers. I don't know about the golem, but I can use it kind of like a spiked statue almost, but it's not as good as a spiked statue in some ways. I don't know. I'm going to play the spiked statue, and then we are going to try and get something set up. I'm going to focus on taking out what they're playing a little bit. And just looking to see what they are going to do here. Try to block them with this golem. Okay, they're blocking me with a golem. This is really kind of fascinating. All right, here, let's just go ahead and take out those guys. Now I can do this, and I'm going to wait with the stone statue because I'm not sure exactly what I'll need just yet. And with the phoenix, you know, I have some options here. So, yeah, blocking that demon. I'm going to block the pirate now as well. Swap lanes. And, oh man, they're really blocking me well, but I think we can get it. And we did. So, well played. Let's see if we can make any other adjustments here to this deck I'd like to try. I'm already using 2 archers. I didn't see that. So what else? Replacing the golem with a dwarf would be good, but that kind of like defeats the purpose of the video maybe. What else got buffed? Did anything get buffed or did it all get nerfed? Let's take another look. Doesn't really look like... Oh, the Dark Angel, but that doesn't work in a rushing deck. That was my thing. Not much damage here. I mean, that's why it's good to have the Rage. Okay, swap. And then after the swap, we play arrows and then instantly play protection. That was a pretty good swap. And then let's see what else we got. Looking good, guys. Looking very good. Okay, they play the Orc Warrior. We swap again. Yep, just block 2 of their hits on that Mud Elemental, and that should be enough of a difference to get the win. And it was there. Blocking is a very key thing that I never talked about with rushing decks that much, but it's something that you figure out and learn if you're playing a lot of rushing decks, that you need to block sometimes. The Dwarf is much slower to work with and not really the card I prefer to play at the start. It seems a little bit faster than I remembered it. But we can play a Fan Dancer here to try and add some extra damage. Interesting. What are they doing? Okay, they're playing lots of different things. I'm going to try and go around them a little bit here, because they're wasting some cards at the moment. So, you know, my thinking is like, I've got a pretty solid advantage at the moment. So we'll just see we'll see what they do. Okay. All right. Let's see what we can. I'm trying to see if we could take out. Yeah, now we can't take out that guy. And probably the biggest potential issue is that they might play a Reaper right here. I'm really afraid they're going to play a Reaper. If they play a Reaper, I don't know what I'm going to do. Come on, Rage. Rage. This is the point of Rage. Yes. They played that a little bit too slowly is what I'd probably argue. They just slow played it a little bit too much and gave me too much time to get too much damage in. So anyways, I guess that is going to do it for this video. So a couple other thoughts on this. We didn't really go through everything. Maybe I'll go through some more of these. Yeah, so it really looks like the archers are a lot more useful. The dwarf is potentially a lot more useful. The golem could be useful for strategies where you need something to put in front of like a wraith or a shaman. Yes, I said wraith correctly this time. I'm not going to keep messing it up, hopefully. And the boneyard definitely got nerfed, so we'll see how much that actually affects it. Should be really interesting there. The Dark Angel keeps creeping up. Probably have to make a separate video to take a look at that one since it doesn't fit in a rushing video. So leave a like if you enjoyed. Let me know what you thought in the comments about this video and what other types of content I should create. Maybe subscribe if you are new to my channel. And thanks for watching, guys, and stay tuned for more videos.